There was a stool over there. There was a stool over there. There isn't one anymore. Apparently, sitting isn't allowed. You ever know? You know when you're done something, where you just it's over. Yeah, it's over. So as you see by the title and everything, this is still about work and, jobs and all that stuff. And I figure, why not just continue this trend of talking about jobs, like while I write down my little scripts and things for the other stuff I'm trying to build, trying to record and stuff, as well as just being more consistent and uploading and speaking on things. This also is allowing me to vent just a little bit, but the goal as well is to turn that into some type of discussion, some type of some type of video that has like a call to action or something with closure. I can't really think of the words right now, but I want to say something that people can relate to, but not just that. But I just can't really think of it at the moment, right? I'm going off the fly. But anyways, so I just got off of work. Well, technically I got off of work an hour ago, but I just got off of work, right? And I haven't been at this job. Last time I was at the job was 2 weeks ago. So the previous week I wasn't at the job, which was actually good for me because I got back into football. I've been doing a lot of productive things, got a few videos out in between, like working, doing other work, working on media stuff and this, that, and third, ping pong in between like Central Jersey and South Jersey and everything. I've been very busy because I'm ramping my life back up into being busy, being more productive, getting things out the way as I slowly transition out of this lifestyle and build things back up. I do things based on like little plans and stuff, right? And going back to this job, in fact, let me get a little backstory to the job. So I kind of spoke about it when the video I made, talking about how 9-to-5s are miserable, right? And that video was just me following up on the story of my friend getting fired, which was the title was There's No Job Security. And in me talking about how 9-to-5s are miserable, one of the things I spoke of is like just the BS that happens at jobs, using my side job, which I only work at like once a week now, sometimes at once every other week. Hell, sometimes barely even on this once every 3 weeks, right? But at that job, we have like managers in positions that they shouldn't be, which isn't unique to jobs, right? A lot of people can relate to that. And because of that, like things are just so ass backwards and stupid, right? Just a lot of tomfoolery and bullshit because you have morons that are allowed to do decision making. And I do mean morons. Absolutely stupid. How the fuck do you wake up and tie your shoes type morons? I mean that. In fact, I was talking to a coworker who has some time in as much as I do, actually has more than me, especially in our department. And even that person was like, when I was speaking to them, I'm like, yeah, the head of our department is fucking stupid. He's a moron. And they were like, yeah, he completely is. He does not know what he's doing. We've watched the ship just go boom. Now, speaking of this job, I've been at this job for like 5 to 6 years, right? Off and on. I don't work back to back, right? It's a seasonal security job that I do. It works for me because I can, make my schedule the way I want. It's easy pay, right? Between doing media and other things and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes you just need a job where you're like, all right, I could just make some easy money, and know what to do and not really have to like burn my brain out, burn my body out, or you even have some fun. Like the job, despite the BS that you expect at every job and every workplace, it actually not has anymore, but it has some enjoyable elements to it, which is why every year I'm like, you know what? I may go back depending on how busy I am or not, right? I came back this year and I'm not coming back after this. That's important. Speaking to my other coworkers, majority of them new or newish, especially compared to my time, and they are not coming back or they don't desire coming back. A lot of them just get in, do their job, and go to hell home, which is something we never really did. We would like get in, do our job, complain about the job, clock out, and then go to the local Wawa or whatnot and stand around and talk and things. Nobody even wants to do that anymore. People just want to just boom, including me. Don't want no part of it. Don't want to see the job. Don't want to see the clothing. Don't want to see anything job related. And that is because of management. Like I said, our management is stupid. Ass stupid. Completely stupid. Bruh. If I saw them on the road driving next to me, I'd pull the hell over because I'm afraid we're all going to die. That type of stupid, right? And with that, we have watched this department just go. Actually, we've watched this place, this organization, everything just go whoa, because it's not just our department, but our department is also getting hit hard because while the president of the job is an idiot, the managers of our job, of our department, are also idiots. So it's an idiot clusterfuck. It just doesn't make any sense. And what makes it so funny is, I spoke about this in a previous video, is that the only reason it is this way is because they keep failing forward. As in, they just stay until people retire or quit to a bigger or better job. And then that's how they get promoted. They are the last people standing, who then make it worse for everybody else. And some birdies told me that in our department, our head dumbass is gunning for more leadership. And this is what kills me, right? You're gunning for leadership. You want leadership. Leadership is your aim, but you're not good at being a leader or being organized or just knowing what you're doing in general. That is something I can't really understand. I can't grasp it. Because I'm like, what kind of oh, damn, would that be Dunning-Kruger? I can't look it up right now, so I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, when somebody has a skill set that is here, but they think they are up here, that's what it is. And it makes no sense to me, because there has to be at some point some self-realization, some looking into the mirror and knowing, I'm not good at this. Everybody's complaining about me. And I do mean everybody. Let me say this. Everybody. Every single person. When I bring that person's name up, and yes, I do it because I don't care about getting fired. You're not my only source of income. Everybody agrees. Some say more. In fact, I spoke to a different coworker today. That's somebody I don't really speak to on a personal level and whatnot. It was just in passing, because coworkers aren't friends to me. We're acquaintances. I'll joke with you. We'll have a good time and things. But other than that, I'm gone. Right? It's nothing personal. It's just a job. But I was speaking to that coworker today, and I didn't realize they were feeling the squeeze as well. They always seem very even keeled, have a good shield up and whatnot. And no, they were like, I'm frustrated. This is my side job. I don't need, talking about them speaking from them, right? They're like, this is my side job. I don't really need it. But it was being here in different departments, especially when I was younger, it was fun. It's not fun anymore. I don't feel respected. I'm just frustrated. There's zero communication. And I'm like, oh, okay. You are feeling the squeeze as well. And they have a supervisory type role. So of course they feel it. I don't have a supervisory role. I refuse to be a supervisor. I would never go to be a supervisor in anything for the most part, unless it's my field related things where I feel it's worth the responsibility and the pay. No pay, no responsibility, right? But seeing that, and and knowing that every single person feels the same effect, with my or technically not really going, with my week being gone, there we go. Me coming in today, right, to the job, you can see on everybody's face that nobody wants to be there. Me personally, I don't want to be there because I had a football game the previous night. My body beat the hell up. I feel like someone kicked me down a hill, and I just rolled for a mile. Did pretty good. Niggas got double team me, but we're not going to talk about that. It was so random. But morale was just, You see it. You see it on everybody's face. I don't want to be here, but I got to get the bills paid. My final straw today, right? There's a few things, but my final straw is I got pulled from my position. Cool. Things happen. We're short. But I got pulled on my position because we're short, and we're short because people don't want to work there anymore. People are not showing up. People are calling out. People are no calling, no showing. People are getting hired, going to training, and never coming back. Wild. So we're short because of how people are seeing the job, right? Because this isn't that typical, especially for our department. They're getting their first taste of the experience and are immediately leaving. So us being short is the job's fault. That's how at least that's how I see it. I don't have any internal data or whatnot, but sometimes perspective is reality. So I get pulled because we're short, and we're short because of the job. And I end up doing something that I've never, ever done before in my years of being there, especially because things change a lot, especially recently. And it's all very vague, right? Help out with traffic and this, that, and third. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? I've literally never done this before. And things, coworkers help with that, blah, 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 blah. Right. So then me covering other people's stuff, I am at a one spot, which is also very vague and simple, but like you just watch the gate. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm on gate duty. Bet. And there's a stool there. So I'm outside and other people use the stool. They just sit there, manage gates, make sure somebody that doesn't supposed to come in comes in. So I sit by the stool. Something happens where me actually doing my job, I have to call someone in, right? Because I spotted it, I noticed it, and there's nothing major. It's just dumb people doing stupid things. And I'm like, cool, blah 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 blah, which causes bosses to come over, but technically supervisor and a boss, one of those managers I was talking about. I wish I could even say genders, but I'm being vague, but not being vague. People who might say this who might know, don't know what I'm talking about, and others who don't, just hey, fill in between the lines, use your imagination, right? So bosses come over and they have to deal with that incident. And while they're dealing with that incident, I go back to where I am and I'm sitting on the stool chilling. One of the guys comes up and goes, and not to be a buzzkill, and I already know this guy, right? Because I've worked here off and on. So I already know what he's going to say. And I'm like, stool? Yeah. Blank doesn't want you sitting on the stool. And I straight tell him, I was like, bro, this is why people are fucking quitting. And he goes, bro, I know. In fact, it's not even just because of blank. President doesn't want people doing that. There was a previous situation where other people who were like, you're with busing and stuff, right? So they're outside all day. They were like using things to sit on. And president had a problem with it and made it stink, which is like, why? They're out in the weather all day. At least allow them to sit on stuff. And for that right there, that was my, what the fuck? Actually, no. Let me take that back. That was my, I'm done. I'm putting my 2 weeks, because since I've been here, it's been unorganized. It's been dysfunctional. It's been, while also being micromanaged at the same time. How the hell are you micromanaged, or like you overly micromanaged while having zero communication? How does that work? That's like an oxymoron. It doesn't really make any sense, but it's what's happening. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows nothing. Supervisors know nothing. And then the last minute, they'll figure out. They'll find something. Hell, sometimes they just got to wing it, and then they might get yelled at or reprimanded for the lack of communication on management's part. Crazy. What was my final straw today was I was supposed to leave at 5:30. So what I'm doing, we have units come pick us up. So I got picked up and got brought back to like a little main headquarters drop-off spot at 5 o'clock. Now, I don't mind me leaving earlier things, but my thing was okay, am I leaving? Am I going home? What's happening next? Go talk to the guys. Well, they first see me and I'm looking. I'm like, just do the shrug, and I'm like, and one of them goes, "Don't you leave at 5:30?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And this person is also a supervisor, a newer one, because they're all mainly newer compared to me. And he's like, and I look at him, I'm like, "This is the dumb shit I've been telling y'all about, or this is the dumb shit I'm talking about. I'm not telling y'all because they already know." And he goes, "Bro, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Why did they bring you here?" The person that brought me here was told to bring me here by somebody above him, which means the person above him made that decision. Nobody knows what to do next. We're all just because they're briefing for their shifts, their shift changes and stuff. So I'll just go. I'm like, "Bro, I'll just go home." He's like, "Bro, I won't be mad if you just clock out. I won't. I understand." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm leaving." Right. Just left. And that whole interaction and things kind of spawned this video. Because it's, as a comment said on a previous video I made, which is something I've seen on, various forums, little like motivational posters and other things. People don't leave jobs. People leave bad bosses, right? I'm ready to be out the door. I'm pretty much done. Just because I don't attach myself to things that have no structure. Now, obviously, like I said, not trying to burn too many bridges because there's always a chance that, something might come up and I can do something on the freelance side with this company. I'm not being super specific. But these issues of nobody knowing things, lack of communication and everything else, they have been ongoing, right? Think of it being day in and day out, and you're like, "What are we doing?" And everybody's like, "I don't know." Especially as somebody that actually has more knowledge than the majority of people there. And so how things were ran. You know how things used to be ran back when things were super structured. Back when y'all were damn near autonomous. Like y'all had self-autonomy because that's how structured you were. To now going, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what we're doing. Everything's changing every day. My coworkers and even upper supervisors don't know what's going on. Everybody's just winging it and going like, "Oh, if this works, it works. We'll just throw a dart at the wall and see what sticks, or throw some shit at the wall and see what sticks," right? And if it don't, they're gonna take the brunt of it. Being in that type of predicament, for me, especially at my older age, I'm not in my early 20s or late teens anymore. First thing I think of is I could be doing something better with my time. Because money is cool, but money isn't everything, right? Why would I attach myself to unorganized, no structure, no bad leadership and everything else just for some paltry pay? But more importantly, it got me thinking about things that I've always had thoughts about, which is bad managers and what the hell they're thinking at times or not thinking. Because that little stool incident, first thing that popped in my head is, why? What's the point? It's like no customers or guys really back here. What's wrong with just sitting, being able to sit? Why does president care so much about this type of stuff? Why wouldn't president just let the drop-off people sit? They're doing their job. Who are you trying to impress? What type of media training do you think you have or studied? I mean, business training, right? Because I've been thinking about media management in my head. But what type of business training do you have in your head where you're thinking about how your workers look, being able to sit in the heat and direct people? Like what decision making went in your head for your brain cells to rub together and go, This is a bad idea to have my workers be able to be comfortable. Right? It's the same thing when it comes to, and my helmet really messed my hair up right here. My hair's already messed up, but sheesh. It's really retwist time now. I'm leaving that in. But the same when it comes to like retail and other situations. Because one of my biggest pet peeve with the retail, and not just working retail, but as a customer, is when I see workers just standing at the cashier all day for what? Why? They don't need to stand. Like, we have a brand called Aldi's around here. I don't know if Brandy's. I don't know if Aldi's is regional. I don't know if it started in New Jersey. I have no idea, right, where it came from. But we have Aldi's, and Aldi's allows their cashiers to sit down. Guess what? That hasn't changed anything. That customers don't come in and go, damn, look at how unprofessional and lazy they look sitting at a chair scanning us out. People still shop at Aldi's because if you have something that people want, the people will come. What does Aldi's have? Food. What do people like? Food. You know what people come to buy? Food. Wow. Crazy. Walmart, ShopRite, Acme doesn't really exist. All those other places, why can't you do the same? Allow your workers to sit. Or is this a shareholders thing? Like, what? How did your brain cells rub together to come up to this decision that sitting is unprofessional? Like, that type of stuff. There are people that have positions of power and leadership and decision making that honestly do not deserve it. Like, we say common sense isn't common. Everything isn't really common sense, right? Some things that we believe should work a certain way don't, because it actually is a bad idea. And other things are really just common sense, and you're not doing it because you're trying to reinvent the wheel or some stupid shit that is making everybody's job and lives more miserable than it should be. Are you fucking serious? And worst of all, how can you be so incompetent that you don't see that you're actually making things harder for yourself? And I don't like how this angle is now, but this little phone tripod I'm using, it's donezo. It's done. It's cracked. You get what you pay for, and I bought something cheap, and it worked in me again, and then I was just not really anymore. I'll show the picture of the little brand it was. Hey, well, it is what it is. But back to the topic. I just don't understand, right? I don't like leadership roles, but I'm a fairly good leader, and I'm just not just saying that because I got an ego and I'm tooting my own horn. In fact, I got to fix this. I just don't like this headroom. Whatever, that's a little better. Watch it tilt while I'm talking. Anyways, I don't like leadership roles, right? But as I said, not tooting my own horn, I make a fairly good leader. Like, I don't like having to step up in things, but I'm good at stepping up. In fact, at this little side job that I have, some of the newer guys thought I was a supervisor. So I said, so he's like, are you a supervisor? I was like, no. He's like, oh, you just kind of carry yourself as one, like the way you know things and everything else. I'm like, bro, that's just how, I am and how I know stuff, how I know what I'm doing and everything, right? But there are times where I have kind of stepped on some toes and I'm like, fuck that. We're not doing that. We're going to do what works, right? And with that, how I got it. And with that, it wasn't just because I knew what I was doing, but I also talked to my guys. I asked how they're doing. I asked what they feel about this, how they feel about that, blah, 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 blah. Game planned, organized, together as a unit. And we got shit to work. Easy. It's not that hard, people. It's not that hard to do things correctly. Jobs are going to be jobs. They always have their pros and cons. But sometimes it feels like as with anything in life, that people are trying to make it as negative as possible. That they're trying to make it as sucky as possible, simply because they have their dreams, their visions, their ideals, one of those two words, on how things should be for themselves. Even if they know, or at least should know, that they're just not good for the role or shouldn't be in the role. There's this book called Stupid Jobs, right? And I think in that book, if I'm correct, or maybe it was in a report, like, once again, this is all off the top of my head, so not like fact checking coming into this or double checking things, right? Either in the book or report that talks about how middle managers have nothing to do and for the most part try to justify their jobs, right? And it feels like that with a lot of these decision making that these people make, even though some of them are upper management. Like, it seems like they feel like they have to justify their existence by just doing absolutely batshit dumb shit, blatant stupidity. That's the only way I can think of it, truthfully, because I can't wrap my brain around it. It's hard to really, like, mentally digest how you come about these things and go, yeah, well, this is great. Like with the managers I was talking about, one of them is complete moron. The one who did like the whole stool thing, right? Is a micromanaging Karen that previously worked in education. Anybody that's been around people in education knows you have people that are teachers who are cool and blah, 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 but you also have that other side, and that's the want to know what everybody's doing, going to put their input on what everybody's doing, going to make sure things work their way, and doesn't really budge on anything. Like, try to like just bull rush their way through. And that's kind of what that person is like, and nobody likes them either. Like, nobody likes the dumbass. Nobody likes that person. Education Karen. We're just going to call them that. At this point, you probably realize it's a female, but I got to be careful with what I say. I don't really care about getting fired, but, you know, plausible deniability for potential future stuff. And even that, when you think of it, is kind of like a contradiction. It's like, how do you work in education but not really be smart enough to realize these things? Education is supposed to be about critical thinking and, you know, developing your mental prowess, but you didn't. Like, we all have our flaws. We're flawed people. I'm a flawed person. I could be very confrontational and arrogant and things, and I definitely, you know, when I think I'm right, I'm right. But I'm also willing to take a step back and listen to other people. Like, that's my thing. Like, always listen, always learn, always evolve. Is just a job having a title, power? Is this why you're doing this? You know, why you're making people's lives suck? What is it? What causes it? Is it ego? Incompetence? Everything? I don't know. I truly don't know. But at the end of the day, I know what it leads to. People leaving. People not wanting to be involved. People getting tired of you. People knowing, damn, you're stupid and you shouldn't be in this position. That's pretty much it. That's the video. I just want to make this a little quick one. Like I said, it was kind of a rant, a venti rant, right? Because this is why. But I also wanted to really like bring it around to jobs themselves, because I know people out there, some of them listen to it and go, that's my job. I don't know how this person got in this position, but it sucks. Or, you know, that's how our vice president is, or our sales manager, or our shareholders, whatever. You know, we've done everything right, but we didn't sell like 2 pencils. And now we've changed our policies around and everything's going to hell. Whatever. Like, I'm just throwing out little weird hypotheticals, or a job that might just fire people left and right because they'll do things like talking or whatnot, and then they have nobody to do their job because nobody wants to be there. So now they're running out of contracts because the jobs aren't getting done, and the people who are hiring them for contracts are like, what the hell? Which is something else you see a lot, and it's like you're really screwing yourself over because you want to be a weird little dictator, and now everybody's pockets hurts, including yours. Like, how did you get there? Just I don't know. I don't. But that's the video. I'm going to hopefully be talking about something different in the next one. Like I said in the previous video, I have a few in mind. I just have to get around to them because it takes a little writing and things and finding old media that I have. But we'll see. Anyways, deuces. I'm out of here. Little rant. Done.